thing that you want to do is you want to make sure your skin is completely prepped and moisturized before this. This is going to help the foundation really to like stay on, really set really good. It's going to make it look hydrated and moisturized. A lot of people just think that you can just, you know, put your foundation on regardless if it's a liquid, cream, or a powder, and then they can just go. You technically can do that, but if you really want your makeup to like set all day properly, stay on, not smudged, this is the best way, in my opinion, that it's going to look flawless all day. The first thing that I put on my face before I do my makeup is the Josie Maran Argan Oil. This is an oil, and you can get it in the regular or you can get it in the light, depending on how oily your skin type is. I like to use this one because I have really dry skin. It is 100% pure argan oil. This is just going to help everything get really moisturized. It's going to make your makeup lay on really, really smooth. That's the first thing that I do, and it comes with a little dropper. And you seriously only use like maybe 2 drops for the whole face. Next thing that I put on is my moisturizer, and I am like a moisturizer junkie. I use seriously a different one probably, you know, every few weeks. I'm always looking for a good one because, like I said, I have dry skin. This is probably the most important step in my opinion to me, because the foundation that I wear, Double Wear, it's kind of drying because it technically is for like normal to oily skin. But I just love the coverage and I love how it stays on, so I really need a good moisturizer before I put it on. And right now I'm using the Dermologica. It's a skin smoothing cream. I bought the kit from Ulta, and it came with like the cleanser and exfoliator and eye cream and stuff. All of them work really, really good, and I have to say I'm pretty freaking happy with it. But this is probably my favorite thing out of the whole kit. Seriously, I put this on in the morning time and the night time. And when I wake up in the morning, my skin seriously feels like a baby's butt. And this is the only thing that I use besides a serum. I know this has a lot to do with it. So I put this on right after the argan oil. And you want to make sure that everything is kind of like drying as you're putting more layers on. You don't want to put everything on like really fast. So you let that dry for a few minutes. Then I've been using the Faced Hangover Rx primer. It looks like this. It smells freaking phenomenal. As you can see, I'm almost out. I really love this stuff. It's a replenishing face primer. It has coconut water, electrolytes, and probiotics. It's silicone free also. So it's really good for sensitive skin. I have to say my favorite thing about this is it makes me feel really hydrated after I put it on. I stay hydrated all day thanks to this and all the other products that I use. So yeah, that's the most important thing that you want to remember before you put on your makeup. So next thing I do is I go in with my Makeup Forever Full Cover Concealer. I have the shade 4. I really like this concealer because it's seriously full coverage and it stays on really well. It is a little pricey, but I feel like it's worth it. It comes in a pretty good sized bottle, and all you take is just a little bit, and you want to just, you know, dab that on any blemishes that you have or any redness before you put your foundation on. Next thing that I use all over, this is my baby. Seriously, this is like my #1 foundation. I've tried so many foundations over the years. So many, probably almost every single one that they have at Sephora. And still, nothing compares, in my opinion, to the Double Wear Estee Lauder. I'm sure you've heard me talk about this. I wear this seriously every day. Of course, this is full coverage. And the only reason why I wear full coverage is because I have freckles. And in my opinion, I just like to have one solid skin complexion. A lot of people tell me, you know, why do you cover your freckles? They're so cute. And I'm just like, I don't know. I just want it to be all one. I just think it looks really neat and everything just looks together when you have a solid foundation on. So I've always used this. It's Stay in Place makeup. It's seriously, I'm not exaggerating. Before I even started using a primer, before I got really in depth with skincare, I would just use this by itself and it would seriously stay on all day. So right now, if you don't have a primer, you know, with you, if you're not interested in buying one right in a second, you can just wear this and it will seriously stay on like all day, and I'm not joking. No blotchiness, nothing. So after you have your primed look, the first thing that I do is my brows. For this, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow Pomade. I'm going to be going in with an angle brush, just tapping a little bit on the top. When you're using this product, you definitely want to be careful not to put on too much because it can go south really quick. So after you've dabbed a little bit on, you're going to take a little comb brush and you're going to brush all the hairs up, make sure they're all going in the same direction so your product lays it really nice. I go in with the angle brush. Brow. If you don't want, like, you know, a nice clean arch, feel free to just do this, you know, really fast, or you can use a pencil, you can even use a powder. This is just what works for me. Like so. Next, I'm going to be going in with my spiked brow pencil, and I'm going to be filling in all the little gaps that don't have much pigmentation. And the final thing for the brow is we're going to be going in with the Bobbi Brown Creamy Concealer in Porcelain. And of course I have to use porcelain because I'm a ghost. This is the lightest shade I think they have, but that's the main reason why I use it, because it's hard to find a really like pale concealer for my skin tone that has like a cool undertone, and this just works perfect. So now I'm going to be taking my MAC 228 brush, looks like this, and I'm going to be bringing it right under the brow just to give it a really highlighted, sculpted look, and also clean up the edges in case I had any mistakes that I made. Again, just scissor spike. Your brow deep. Now it's time for your shadow. Another thing you want to remember before you put on your shadow, you need a primer. Primer's going to help it stay on all day. It's going to help the shadow avoid creasing. It's going to help the shadow also avoid fallout. This is a really crucial, important step when you're wanting to wear eyeshadow. It's the Urban Decay Original Eyeshadow Primer Potion. I'm almost out of this too, as you can see. I need to stock up on some more. I use this seriously every day. And it seriously only takes a little bit, like a smidge. And I'm going to just be applying this with a little flat brush on the lid. This is my MAC 242. So just bring it on the lid. Make sure you cover the entire lid, from the lid upwards to the crease, almost where your concealer is. Just kind of blot that around. If any of y'all have ever done this, but I'm going to be using tape today to define my eyeshadow bit at the corner of your eye in an angle. That way, all the eyeshadow is not going to get, you know, on the side of your face when you blend it out. Now, you don't have to use this. I just like mine to look really neat, especially when I use my liquid liner. It just really brings it all together, and it's so easy. It makes everything so much easier. So, yeah, I'm going to place this right here. Look like this. Look so freaking weird with foundation on my lips. Like, no lips. Shadow that I'm going to be using is the MAC Blanc type shadow. It's just a really pretty neutral, like vanilla color. I love using this on the lid because it helps bring everything out. With the MAC 239 brush, just a, you know, little flat eyeshadow brush. Be applying this shade to the lid. It is a really, really good makeup look for brides. I've used this on quite a few brides and it looks beautiful. Seriously, on every single bride that I've done. You have my first transition color. This is Wedge. I use this shadow almost with every look that I do. Seriously, almost every single eyeshadow look that I do. It's just a perfect natural color. It is cool toned, so it's really good for like fair skins. Even if you're warm toned, it still looks amazing. Now I'm going to be taking my MAC 217 brush. It's a really good little fluffy blending brush. It's really hard. Here's the part that is going to make your eyelids bleed. Not really, but seriously, you want to take this, and I always just start like kind of in the middle when I'm doing my transition color. And you just want to go back and forth. Now keep in mind, since you do have the tape on, it's okay if you bring it outwards. Transition color would be like dark. This is not the crease color. Transition color, if you don't know what that means, it's a transition from the concealer at the top, or the lightness part at the top of the brow, from the lid. It's like the good in between. It transitions from this shadow to the concealer. What I'm going to be doing is using Saddle. This is like a really pretty reddish brown. I use this all the time as well. It's going to be going kind of strictly in the crease, blending up towards the transition, but you're not going as high as you did with the transition color. You're just going to be kind of staying below that. So stay in that crease. Take it lightly towards your inner corner. Blackberry, it's just a really pretty dark plum color. This is going to be my first crease color. Throughout this whole thing, we're doing the same motion back and forth, except you just really want to keep this in the crease. Okay, and now I realize that I want my transition color to pop a little bit more, so I'm going back in with Saddle just a little bit, just to kind of like blend the Blackberry. Next, we're going to be going in with a MAC shadow. It's called Embark. It's just a really nice dark brown. It does have a little bit of like a reddish tint to it. So now with this, we're just going to be going in the crease, only on the outer parts. Like that. Next thing I'm going to be using is probably one of my favorite eyeliners that I've ever used. I got it for a Christmas gift a couple of years ago, and ever since I got it, I've been like hooked. This is a Lorac Front of the Line Pro. It's in a silver bottle like this. I really like this product because it's like very sharp and it's perfect for the cat eye. I want to start at the bottom of the tape and kind of bring it towards your lash line at the bottom. This is what's going to draw your shape first. And it doesn't matter if you get it on tape because we're going to remove it anyway. See that? I just did one line. Filling it in like this. Now, I'm going to remove the tape. Now I'm going to be taking MAC Definitely Black Prolongwear pencil. This is what we're going to be putting in the waterline. Next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be going in again with the 239 brush with our Blackberry eyeshadow, which is that plum one. So you want to take the brush and you just want to kind of go back and forth, kind of in a fast motion. Be going in with Embark that we used in the crease. And we're going to be putting this over the Blackberry. Now we're going to be going in with a 217 brush. This one does not have any product on it. And this is just going to kind of buff everything out. Now it's time for mascara. I'm going to be using the MAC Upward Lash mascara. I've been hooked on this mascara ever since MAC came out with it, simply because it does not take a lot of product and it gives you hella volume and hella length. Like, you don't even have to use that much. Now the next step is to contour and highlight. I use different concealers all the time, but ever since I've tried this particular one, it's been like a game changer for me. It lasts all day. It's cheap as hell. It's seriously probably like $5 or $6. It's called the Girl Pro Conceal, and I really love the tube that it's in because you can, squeeze it out super easy. And then it also has this cute little brush that it comes with. So you just squeeze it out and the product actually comes out of the brush. So yeah, and then you can just do like that. Here. And you kind of want to bring it out this way. And down. Then I did down the nose and on the forehead. So then I'm going to take my beauty blender and just kind of blend this out. Like I said, you're wanting to be careful around the eye area. So now that you have like your basic highlighter on, I'm going to be going in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kit. And this is the cream kit. If you don't like cream, she also has a powder that's awesome. And with this, I'm going to be taking just a little bit of the fair color, which is the lightest one. And I'm going to honestly just take my finger and dab a little bit under my eye just because I really like that bright highlight. Now remember, you wouldn't do this every day. This is seriously just for like a really dramatic look. Now that you have done your highlight, it's now time to contour. So again, I'm taking the same palette that I just used. And I'm pretty fair, so I always like to use the lightest, if that makes sense, lightest, darkest color. And it's called Java. It's going to be down there on the left. And I'm just going to take my fingers again. And you seriously do not want to use a big amount of this because a little bit goes a long way. As you can see, it looks like mud. But it's okay because once we blend it out, it's going to look bomb as. And you don't have to use this much, but I like to look like a bronze goddess, so I'm going to use like that much. So I'm going to take a different beauty blender, and I'm just going to be going in like an upwards motion with this. When you're contouring, you also want to stay as close to the hairline as possible. The closer you are to the hairline, the more natural that it's going to actually look. Just beating my face, no big deal. Seems like a ton of work, but it's gonna be worth it once you finish. This is what you have to do when you use a cream contour. Don't think that when you contour and highlight that you have to do this. I just like to use a cream because I have dry skin and it just looks more blended into my foundation when I put it on. If your bicep feels like jello, it's perfectly normal, believe me, because how long is it? I'm going to be going back in with my Too Faced bronzer. It looks like this. It's called Medium Deep. I've used this bronzer for a long time. I also find that it works amazingly with my skin tone. So now I'm just going to lightly be going over what I just contoured just to blend it all together. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking the loose Laura Mercier translucent powder. This is the powder that I find works best for me. We're going to take a damp beauty blender, spray it with Fix Plus spray. Now we're just going to go right under what we just did. And it's okay if it's not blended out. We're going to take a brush and finish that. Next thing I'm going to be using is my Mineralize Skinfinish in Light. It's a powder from MAC. And I'm just going to be taking my 138 brush and going right under this to just kind of clean up my contour. Because sometimes your contour, after you're done blending it, it goes like all the way down here. And it's not cute. So it's just kind of like cleans it up. Now you're just going to kind of like dust off that transparent powder. It's gonna stay all day. Next thing I'm gonna be using is I'm gonna be using my Dame blush from MAC. It's like a really pretty pink. And I'm gonna be using my 129 brush. Just tapping a little bit on the apples of the cheek, bringing it upwards. I'm going to go ahead and apply my fake lashes. It's almost like something's missing. I feel like if you don't have lashes with a smoky eye, see the difference that makes? I feel like it just comes to life. Now I almost forgot to do my highlighter. So I'm going to be taking my MAC 224 brush. It's just a cute little tapered blending brush. It's longer than the 217 though. I like to use this for applying my highlight. I'm going to be taking the Too Faced Candlelight Glow. I really love this highlighter because, you know, I'm really fair, so a lot of highlighters can show kind of golden on me, but this one is like a nice silver color. So now I'm going to be applying it to the highest point in your cheekbone, which is right here. This is just going to give you that nice, pretty glow. And always carry it to the apple of the cheek also. For the nose, and then a little bit right here. I don't know if you can see the difference in the lighting, but you see how this is like luminous. This is boring. I'm going to be using, I use this all the time. This is the Oak lip pencil from MAC. So I'm going with a nude look. Being that we have such, you know, heavy eye makeup. Really get full lips. So I'm gonna kind of like overdraw them. Oh girl. So next thing I'm gonna be going in, these are also both MAC. I'm doing pretty much like all MAC makeup today. I don't know why, I love my MAC. First thing we're gonna be doing is Honeylove. It's a nude matte, I love it. And I like my lips to look a little bit kind of lighter on the inside. So I'm taking my Fleshpot from MAC. It's a lighter nude. It's probably the lightest nude that MAC has actually. And I just put it in the middle. Gives it a nice little touch. And if you know me, you know that I always have on a matte lipstick. But lately I've been hooked on this gloss from MAC. It's called Unbreakable Me. Unbreakable. Don't quote me on that. But anyways, it just came out probably about 3 weeks ago. And it's called Huggable Glass. The thing I love about this is it stays on a long time. It's super shiny and it's not sticky at all. That's why I can actually wear it, because I don't like to wear sticky gloss. Seriously, just in the middle. Just a little bit in the middle. Oh, I almost forgot. If you have a double chin like me, you want to make sure you cover it up. So we're going back on the bronzer. Covering up that baby right there. I mean, it's not fucking bad, like it's really not that bad, but I just like it's like, you know, clean and sculpted. And you want to make sure you go down the neck. Ooh, girl. Ooh. You're all tan and stuff. It look like you just stepped out of California. You're done, girl. So that concludes the tutorials for today. I really hope you enjoyed this look. I enjoyed making it for you. I think I'm gonna start doing more talk throughs. I feel really like comfortable and I feel like I can be open with y'all. If you enjoyed my video, please don't forget to subscribe, because I'm gonna be doing this again very soon. And I'm not really sure what I'm gonna be doing, so if you would please leave a comment on what you'd like to see, I would love to do it for you. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook. I have a page on Facebook. Go like it. And go give me a follow on Instagram. I'm gonna leave all my names down below, as well as all the products that I use for today, as well as brush numbers. I will see y'all again very soon, and I hope you all have a lovely weekend. Bye guys.